happy Thursday. We are going way back to basics today. It's Throwback Thursday, so why don't we throw it back to basics? So what we are going to do is I'm going to show you how to layer vinyl, two colors of vinyl, what I like to call the no-fail way, okay? So here's the thing. I have already set this up in Silhouette Studio, which I will show you here. I have a whole tutorial on this already. So if you, let me try to make this a little bit larger for you. I have a whole tutorial that I am sharing a blog post on, let me see. And so that way you can have the step-by-step, as we've talked about for a long time. It's very difficult for me to do in software and like a live demo at the same time because I can't switch back and forth between my computer. But if you want that, we do pre-recorded videos like that on Silhouette U. But today, I shared a link for how to set this up. So we are layering vinyl, and what we are going to use are called vinyl registration marks. These are marks that you create in Silhouette Studio. It is not like when you're turning on registration marks for print and cut. All you're going to do is use the draw a box tool, and you're going to put two of those. Those are those pink marks that you see there. You're going to cut them with both layers or all layers of the vinyl that you are cutting, so that way they are in the same relative location for every layer of vinyl. So this first layer of vinyl I have already cut and weeded. I'm not even kidding you, this probably took me 20 minutes to weed. It's a gorgeous mandala, but there's a lot of weeding that goes to it, and for that reason I do not want to try to eyeball layering this. So what I'm going to layer is I'm going to put a different color of vinyl for the M, okay? So I'm going to make a two-colored layer vinyl mandala decal. It's a lot of names. But I don't want to waste all this time that I spent weeding this by just trying to eyeball it, okay? All right, so of course you could leave it like this. This whole alphabet, there's a whole alphabet that comes like this with the mandalas and the letters. Okay, all right, so now since I've already cut that, I am gonna cut the M, the blue part, with the pink registration marks. Now keep in mind, those registration marks, they will cut on both layers, and that is what you are going to use to line this whole thing up. So let me cut this for you while you're here with me. And what I'm going to do in Silhouette Studio is I'm actually going to cut it using the fill color tool. So in this case, again, I know you can't see very well, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pink fill color layer and the blue fill color layer, and we're going to pray that I have it lined up here correctly. Okay, all right, so let's do this. Whoops, got some vinyl stuck on there. There we go. Let me do that again. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this. This part will obviously be much easier for me to weed. It will be much faster. So I'm gonna send this through. You probably can't see my cut settings, but I am using a force of 14. Let's see, force of 14. My blade's on like a 2, 1.5, 2, and I'm using a speed of 5 and 1 pass, okay? And it's just gonna cut my letter, and then I'm going to weed that out, and then I will show you how to layer that on here using those registration marks. Now before I take this off of here, I'm gonna just make sure that it has cut well enough for me to weed. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we're safe for that. All right, so what I'm gonna do, come back over here, I'm gonna move the cameo out of the way. We are now done with that. Put her back on the shelf so we can use the space on the desk so you guys can see. Okay, so we have our two parts here. I'll bring you a little bit closer. I apologize to keep moving the camera. This is the only way I can, what we used to call in the news industry, one-man band, okay? And that's awful. That's really awful, isn't it? There, like that. Okay, so I have my paper here, or not my paper, my vinyl here. My M is on here. I'm just going to trim that. I'm just looking to see where finished cutting. It's hard to see on here. Okay, so save that piece. All right, I like to weed on my cutting mat, so we'll keep that there. Now, it's much easier now for you to see here. Do you see how these registration marks have stayed on this piece too? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line both of them up, and that is going to allow us to put this M, this patterned M right in the center, okay? I know there's waste. This is the problem, the only problem, excuse me, oh my gosh, you guys are all over. This is the only way to do this, but let me tell you, you will waste a lot more time if you try to just pick this up and eyeball that, okay? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We have our 2 layers, and now we need a piece of transfer tape. Take the transfer tape, and you're gonna use the transfer tape on one piece of the vinyl, okay? You need to pick up the top layer. So in this case, it's the M. However, you need to have the transfer tape be as large as the largest piece because the entire transfer needs to land on this final piece. So I'm going to trim this piece down of my paper or my transfer tape. All right, and I'm just gonna make it, I like it to be as close as possible so that I can, I'm not like fighting with the transfer tape as I'm trying to do this. Because this is kind of tricky, right? And we wanna make it as easy as possible. And I wanna be able to use these pieces later. Okay, so I have this, that's gonna fully fit over top once I'm done, but the first thing that I need to do is pick this piece up. Now I kind of made it a little difficult on myself, so what I'm gonna do, I like to use the mat. The mat keeps everything stable. I'm gonna put this down here just so I know where to kind of position this. Okay, so we're gonna take our transfer tape off of the backing. Okay, we're gonna save this backing piece and you're going to place it over top of your design for right now, okay? Now in this case, I need to make sure okay. So I'm gonna hook it at the top. This is why I cut down the transfer tape so that I wouldn't be fighting with it, okay? This is what it looks like from the side. See, I have it hinged right here. I'm going to grab a scraper, move this one out of the way, and I'm going to cover my M, okay? Now, you need to pull the backing off of the first layer of vinyl so that it and the registration marks stay on the transfer tape, okay? Don't let those registration marks come up. So here's where we are. Now, put that to the side, sticky side up. Take your bottom layer, again, on the sticky cutting mat to help you. You're gonna take the backing of the original piece and you're going to use it to cover this. Okay, use the mat. Again, the mat is helpful for you here. I'm actually gonna hold this down with that too. And that is going to give you an opportunity to line up these registration marks exactly on top of each other before the rest of this transfer tape hits the mandala. Okay, now, very carefully, you want those registration marks right on top of each other. And if you do it perfectly, try to do this from the side so you can see. See why I have the transfer tape down, waxy side up, because that will allow me to move it out of the way. Okay, so once you're ready, you're gonna slowly push this down, and now your design is all together. Okay, now, do you see why the layer transfer tape had to be the size of the entire design? Because now you need to pick up the entire decal off of the backing. You don't need this anymore. Okay, you don't need those registration marks anymore. And now you have created your layered design. Now, you could then, if you were like selling this or something, which if you got it from FONTSY, you could, because they all come with a commercial license, place it back down on that transfer tape backing, and you could trim it all up, you know, so that you don't have any overhang here like we do. And then you could sell this. Or you could place the entire decal wherever you want. So I don't know where you want to put it. Do you want to put it on your computer? Do you want to put it on your desk? However you want to do it, you now have the entire thing. This is what the back looks like because this is what the front looks like. You would then place it down and peel the transfer back up, and the entire design would stay together. Okay, so that is how you layer transfer tape, or that is how you layer 2 layers of vinyl together. And you use, again, those registration marks, which again, all you do is you use the draw box tool in Silhouette Studio to draw those 2 boxes, and both of the boxes have to cut with both layers. So we cut it with the original pink layer, and then we also cut it with this layer. And because the same boxes are cutting with both, and you haven't moved anything in Silhouette Studio between the cuts, they will cut in the relative same position, and then you use those, as I just showed you, to line this whole thing up. Okay? All right, so now that you know how to layer mandalas, now that you love mandalas, as we all do, they are a trend that will seemingly never end. If you're interested in the mandala bundle, grab it, because again, it's available today only. It's back for Throwback Thursday on FONTSY. I put the link up top for that, along with the link for the written blog post on how to layer vinyl. All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I'll see you soon.